Okay, it is now Friday, August 15th, 2014, 5:27 p.m. Central Standard Time. Unfortunately, unlike the organized perpetrators, I don't have something going 24/7 at this stage, although I might well end up doing that if I'm stuck here significantly longer. When I get suspicious of something, I whip out the recording equipment and go from there. But I'm not constantly surveilling like the perpetrators are. It has its pros and its cons. To not be a continual human recorder or so. Well, I hope I'm not speaking too loudly. I do have an earplug in my left ear, the one that they've caused to be more sensitive by assaulting it particularly brutally. But in any case, and repeatedly, it was very deliberate. For some reason, they wanted to sensitize my left ear more, and that does seem to be a pattern I have been observing among the targets in general, particularly female targets. I think there are a lot more males targeted in this way than admit to it also, but I can't speak to those as of yet. Okay, so I did just hear the message, Halliburton killed the ITCH, so hopefully that was just for my benefit, so to speak, to screw with my head. But there has been a lot of threatening activity, so I'm going to go ahead and post something, assuming it's able to go up as soon as possible. About all this phone seems to be worth right now is time and date verification. At least the time and date continues to be accurate, it would seem. So it lines up with what timeanddate.com shows online. I might have to go through this list again. Okay, hold on. I'm trying not to show any potentially private information more than I have to. But there have been several calls of interest, let's call them, that have come into this phone, and somebody is clearly tapping the line and picking up the calls, and it's through the landline for this house, that even when it looks like I'm the only person in the house, or should be having access to the landline legitimately. Apparently, one of the ways that these perpetrators, I guess, hide their communications is they call into the landline of the target and they chat with each other there, utilizing that line. Because I've seen calls come in, and before I could pick up, someone else picks up when there's no one else around visibly to pick up, and it says line in use. If they hear or otherwise get a signal that I've picked up, that all of a sudden there's silence, and then they disconnect. So some parties are having some kind of conversations among themselves by calling in to this phone. So let's see. Some of these addresses certainly do not look random either, where they call from, and some other parties' names look potentially suspicious, but since I don't have enough information or reason as to those, or in some cases some of my friends work for some of those places, and maybe it was one of them checking on me from an office phone or something. I'm not showing some of those numbers. But in any case, let's see. Scrolling down to things that are more definitively suspicious. Several calls from the DC and Maryland area. I'm not quite sure why that is. We did used to live there, but I would have loved to stay in better contact with more people from there, but I've been prevented from communications, as has been shown. Now let's see. That beeping is in the background is me scrolling through the list. Here's one that's definitely suspicious. Okay, it says not in use. That's their identification, not in use. Okay. That's from August 6th. So these calls have been ramping up in the last week to 2 weeks in particular. and actually really from July, because it was July and the very last days of June I spent in Las Vegas, and there were a lot of very outrageous things that happened there. So I have posted videos, some of them, to facebook.com/snowyoak, SNOEOAWC. That's the acronym for Stop Non-Consensual Experiments on All World Citizens. Okay, here's a suspicious one. Oh wait, let me light it up again before it makes me start over. Okay, this is out of area, and then look, it shows no number. So let me do that again. Hold on. Out of area, 1 followed by a whole lot of zeros, 9 zeros. No, I don't think I did that math right. 10 zeros, the three-digit area code, and then the 7-digit phone number. Okay, let's scroll down. There's one there that's of interest to me, but it's too much not clear. It would be too complicated to explain why right now, so I'm just going to leave that one alone. Here's one that says unassigned. That's of interest. I find it interesting that it would say unassigned, but it has a number. And that's when I was in Vegas during that time. Okay. There's one that has a 3-digit acronym. I have no idea what it stands for. It's also from July 3rd. This one from 1:41 p.m. I'd like to check further into it, but it might be an innocent party, so I'll leave that be for now. Oh my goodness, it looks like somebody might have cleared out this list. That makes it even more of interest then. Or cleared a particular name out of the list. There is one, it's ECHOSYSTEMS with an H. ECHOSYSTEMS. Somebody actually made the point, and it was showed up more than one time. Yeah, they've cleared that right out of this phone. Okay, because I found it has to do with NASA. And I have in-laws that have most direct connections to NASA, as well as several people that reside very, very close by. So, and quite possibly several of the people, because there seems to be some very interesting activity at the nearest inn directly across the, well, I would want to say street, but it's really a highway, a major highway, but directly across from this cul-de-sac is an inn, and the same vehicles always seem to be hanging out for basically the duration of the time I've been here, which is, you know, more than months into years. In Gunnersville, Alabama, the same people just keep grabbing the same parking spots at the same inn where they have a line of vision plus to here. But you know what? I already have a file of that. So I'm going to upload it and attach it. That's what I'll try to remember to do to this video. And I pulled up, as a result of that, let me do something real quick. I remember. Okay, hold on, bear with me. Sorry if this part's a little boring. I don't think I'm going to try to edit it out because I think it's important to keep, this is for evidence, so it's important to keep like a continual file, I think, intact here. Oh wait, I know a place I can find something real quick. Bear with me. Okay, I'm still here. Okay, it's not going to take me more than about another 90 seconds. I apologize for the delay. I did not expect that they were the snapshots was from July 2nd. See, ECHOSYSTEMS, 2 p.m. on the dot, July 2nd. There's a phone number to go with. 951-266-5539. Okay. Those are non-random waves, see. They appear to carry sound. That's at least one function that they have in both directions. I realized years ago they were at least related to incoming sound and non-random. But I realized just earlier this week that they're also related to, in fact, I believe it was when I was producing a file yesterday, related to outgoing sound. So they appear to, my educated best working guess right now would be, well, intermediate level educated, so semi-educated best working guess on this matter would be that they are functioning, at least in a function, as carrier waves for sound, both incoming to the target and outgoing from the target. You see that? And for at least decades now, because I've seen footage going decades back, there's some reason, I'm sure it's not random, because they're paired in yellow and blue, and there is some research that I've linked to before. For example, something published by a doctor, a PhD doctor, Ralph Nelson, called, let me think about the title for a minute, Visual Responses in Ganglion Cells. I'm either exactly sure or very close. I mean, that's either exactly the title or very close to the title. If you did a search for that, you would pull it up. Visual Responses in Ganglion Cells. I remember for sure the author's name is Ralph Nelson. He's a PhD. He's worked at government universities and more directly for government agencies in neuroscience related to what ganglion cells are apparently cells found in the retina of the eye. Okay, so, and in that research is also paired up the colors of yellow and blue. And it has something to do with on-off signals. So one of them is triggering some kind of on signal, and another one is triggering some kind of off signal. And my guess would be pairing them both at the same time to a target might cause some havoc in their functioning. But that's highly speculative at this point. I'm just, because of the working conditions, or basically lack thereof, I'm dealing with at the present and the emergency time frame. I'm going to go ahead and word that way for now. Okay, so in case someone else needs to follow up on it, but this is the kind of thing I would like to be able to sit down and properly follow up on in my writing. Right as I was starting this, they made a point to have a white car with blackened windows drive slowly by in front of my window, before I started, to make me feel as uncomfortable as possible, in addition to, of course, what they said right before I started. So that was, it was meant to be audible to me. Whether it was meant basically just to screw with my head or not, I don't know. Let's see what else I can show right now. Okay. Let me come down. I'm going to end this file for now, and because it's getting close to 20 minutes, more than that. Whoever's helping, it's somebody who's better at computers than both the bad people trying to prevent me from any communication with the outside world, and better than me at computers, no question about that. I want to, of course, help them help as much as possible, so I don't go online like just for music or anything like that anymore. Just to hear music or try to relax or anything like that. And I try to make sure that anything I'm trying to get uploaded to YouTube is not more than 20 minutes, about there, because more than that, it has a much easier chance that the perpetrator is prevented from completing processing, etc., and that it never properly becomes visible for public viewing. More than 2 minutes to Facebook, same problem. So this one's at just exactly about now 17.5 minutes. I'll close this one out and do another time and date verification at the start of any files I can foresee to be attached. Okay, this laptop, I know things seemed particularly bad on it with regard to the light waves being distracting, and they are. This one, of the ones I have that are active, because what I mean by that is one laptop I basically put in the attic, so to speak, because it is so ridiculous. I should just film it just for just so people could see how outrageously rigged up it is, that I wouldn't even try to give it to my worst enemy. It would not even occur to me, because I mean, it's blindingly ridiculous. So, and it became that way very, very promptly after someone known to be an organized perpetrator within the ring of human traffickers got his hands on it. So, I'll leave it at that for now. But in any case, that was actually in downtown Toronto, Ontario, Canada in 2007. So right now I'm in Guntersville, Alabama, United States of America, in 2014. And unfortunately, I've experienced a lifelong surge in such targeting in and around every multiple of 6th year. So, like, when I say in and around, including from the year leading into the multiple of 6th birthday, all throughout the year of the multiple of 6th birthday, and coming out of the multiple of 6th birthday year. So, the following year, the year that follows that year that had the multiple of 6th birthday. So, the good news is, I think that, in some way or the other, we're coming to the end of at least this current surge in targeting. And they do seem to target extra hard. Another reason is, during the years, they consider the target to be in childbearing age range. So I don't like to go broadcasting my age one way or the other. I don't lie about it, but I don't broadcast it because of discrimination, basically. And I was always this way. So I was very aware of age discrimination from the time I was a kid, really, a child. So I was always kind of precocious about certain things like that, obviously naive about other things. And so I never basically told my age, also for security reasons. Now, it's not top secret, so I'm sure somebody could, figure out at least the range or so. But I don't confirm or deny. But I'm hoping, I am of an age that I'm hoping that the next time I have I'm in and around a multiple of 6 birthday, from then on, hopefully there's less reason significantly for the organized perpetrators to be escalating their harassment and degree and all as they've done in previous times through this current surge. Lo and behold, this appears to be the echosystems of interest. Following up from the immediately preceding file. And this is, I always try to be careful about copyright issues, things like that. This is a federal government publicly visible site, so this page should not be an issue to share with the public. It's earthdata.nasa.gov/echo/echo-systems. And so I've seen these pages disappear very quickly after I bring attention to them. And sections, like bio sections that include grants for medical research and things like that disappear after I bring the public's attention to what a particular doctor has been, posting that falls within his particular grant funding and that kind of stuff. But in any case, including Dr. B, who injected my arm with the yet to be identified substance, the good news being it does not appear to be some kind of anything to do with anything that could be contagious. I made sure, I'm a very responsible and conscientious person about other people's safety, actually often so more than my own, and I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to guard my own equally well, but I've always actually been more historically careful about other people's safety than my own safety. And let's see here. He's a doctor. He is still alive and all, so I'm trying to just refer to him by his last initial. I was advised to do that, Dr. B. But he was connected to Dr. Sabarbaro, who's now dead, and who has been documented to have been, through cross-referencing, to be connected to more than one non-consensual human experiment, as well as other interesting connections, including military, medical, overlapping ones. And he specifically, I have good documentation to this as well, and other evidence, including witnesses, interfered with my health while I was in Colorado. And although a significant amount of that was done by internal memos he had sent around internally, but a lot of those people did not like what they were being told internally to shut up about, etc., and to try to label me with, etc. So let's see. They basically appear, as many of the other sites that seem to be sites for parties engaged in kind of, oh, and now somebody's ringing the doorbell. I don't think I want to answer that. And I don't have to. Legally there's no reason that I have to. So when my dog was missing, that was one thing, but she's not missing now, so I'm not interested in answering the door. I guess I'm not going to be given a real opportunity to narrate this page. So, but they talk about basically grabbing data. They also talk about reverb. Let's see. They talk about ingest documentation. I don't think they're referring to food, though. They're talking about documentation that they've been able to grab a copy of, as best as I've been able to tell from my looking over things as much as I'm able to under the current circumstances, which is not as much as usual and not as much as I look forward to, but my dog's getting very nervous right now too, so I'm about to close this file out. Let's see, I'd seen some things that have particularly caught my eye. Oh yes, data partners. Under Discovery Guidelines, the Echo operational system contains data holdings which are made available through the efforts of both data partners and the Echo team. Access restrictions for data are managed solely by the corresponding data partners. These rules are subject to change according to the policies of the owning data partner. Data discovery is achieved completely within the ecosystem, and subsequently performance is linked to the system load at any given time. The Echo team is continually monitoring the performance of the system and improving internal querying methods. Echo client partners are encouraged to utilize the best practices outlined within the client partners portion of this website. All questions regarding data discovery should be directed to the Echo operations team, echo@echo.nasa.gov for support. I do find this sentence, something about the sentence kind of strikes me as worthy of follow-up. Under ordering guidelines, the one that starts right above my finger there, all orders placed in the operational mode will be submitted directly to the appropriate data partners for fulfillment. Unless prior arrangements are made, all submitted orders will be treated as a real request for data. Once an order has been successfully submitted, the orderer can expect to be contacted by the data partners who are fulfilling the order. If Echo is unable to successfully submit the order, the orderer can expect to be contacted by Echo. Once communication has been made by a data partner, specific questions regarding the order should be directed to that data center's user services group. I don't think I have to point out some of the reasons that that section makes my skin crawl, basically, and my dog is acting very nervous right now too. In any case, as are people directly outside this house. But that's interesting. Whoever rang the doorbell did not follow up. Usually if it's innocent, they might try to ring it like once or twice more or so. But when it's just strategic and not so innocent, they ring it once. If they understand that you understand it's suspicious, then they get a signal from someone who's surveilling you that tells them to back off, which basically helps you know more reason to be suspicious. But in any case, we'll keep going here for now. Beta partner test. The Echo operational system is a test system which serves the needs of the Echo data, client, and service partners. The data holdings within this system include those which ECHO's data partners have made available for their own testing purposes. Okay, and then it has a list of resources that probably are worthy of a closer look, and support, Ingest Guidelines, and so forth, discovery guidelines. I'll try to grab a copy of the whole screen in case suddenly this is made to disappear from the internet. Hold on. Even though obviously this is not the best, clearest copy, I should say. This is not the clearest copy, but okay. There's an alpha test bed section. Okay, I'm going to just do a time and date verification and close this file out. But it would be worthy for someone to come through and check out all these links while they're up here. All the links from within here, and make a backup copies, including hard copies and at least offline copies, such as onto CDs, in-hand copies, as opposed to only online copies. Okay, let me get the cursor back here so I can scroll down this left margin. Okay, I think that grabbed all the information from this page, and then I'll go look at the time and date stamp. The absolute only party I have been interested in grabbing information for, well, besides the ones I've stated publicly, such as the Presidential Commission for the Study of Bioethical Issues and the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Torture that ultimately reports to the Human Rights Council, is the public timeanddate.com. Oh, did I scroll down too low? I think so. Let me scroll back up. There we go. I'm going to refresh this just to verify that it's current. I'm going to reload the page. There we go. 6:05 p.m. now, Central Standard Time. Nearest major city being Huntsville. I'm actually currently in Gunnersville, Alabama. Okay, you can see the second hand going. Okay, so I'm closing this file out for now. The time is now 6:20 p.m. Central Standard Time, Friday, August 15th, 2014. I've just learned that at least 2 files suddenly have just been pulled illegitimately as well. You'll be able to see there's no legitimate reason whatsoever to have pulled these files. Only illegitimate reason, only corrupt parties that were engaged in corrupt activity, which was otherwise potentially attributed to technical issues, but much less easily attributed to just technical problems now, since there's been the persistence and and increase of what one would have to believe to be purely coincidence of this file 1553. Let me see if I can focus in on it. Yeah, MVI 1553, MVI underscore 1553.mov to be exact, being removed from my YouTube channel. So I'm going to re-upload it because it's still actually on my computer. So it's readily re-uploaded. But I'm going to make a copy here of that too, because just so I have this sequence together. Oh, let me start from the beginning. Let me make sure it's the very beginning. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna restart one more time.
Use the copy feature to select all in order to copy. So you want to start with something or someone is interfering with it.
I want to make sure I'm focused in properly. Okay. There.
Same problem. I'm not being able to use the copy feature to select all in order to copy. So you want to start with something or someone is interfering with it. It is now 11:25. It's Saturday. I want to say that is the 18th. I don't have my other mobile phone directly in reach, but within a day of that, July 2014.